those vector quantities. Now, why vector are added differently? This is our first doubt. Why it cannot be added by simple algebraic rule, for example 2 plus 3 or like that. The reason is here. Why when take two vector quantities, I am taking here force, its value is 4 here and its value is 3 here. Two forces which is acted by two players on a football at the same time. Then by common sense you can say that if the direction of force is same, then its combined effect must be greater than these forces because they are acting in the same direction. So for common sense it becomes 7 Newton as usual. As you can say 4 plus 3 equal to 7. You also say this is a kind of scalar addition. Now here you can see if a player give a kick of about 4 Newton and another player give a kick of 3 Newton in the opposite direction, then what will happen? Surely the ball will be slower than before. Here the ball will be faster if we take velocity, and if we take force, it has greater force and it can create more disaster to you than this effect. So here the combined effect of 4 and 3 becomes 1. This is very strange because it depends on direction. Here you can see the direction is same, then the combined effect is added. Direction is different, the combined effect is subtracted. And here in another case, we take 3 Newton force in eastward direction and the second player kick the ball by 4 Newton in westward direction. What will happen? Surely you can think about it. Ball will have same force or same velocity as before in this case, but in this case the direction of ball is different than this because the greater impact is here, so the ball will move in this direction, not in this. Have you got my point? Now the fourth case is if you apply force on a ball in the east direction by 4 Newton and if another player apply force by 3 Newton in the north direction, what will happen? You will be surprised that it will go to northeast, exactly northeast direction. Northeast direction with the force of impact of 5 Newton. So you can see here the combined effect is 7, here is 1, here is 1 and here is 5, but its direction is different in all the cases. Have you got my point? Why vector is different from a scalar? This is real phenomena. You can observe in your playground when you play cricket or football or hockey. You can see this kind of observation in reality. So if we study mathematics or science, how can we express that reality in the terms in some suitable language which we study in mathematics? So here is the language. So we will deal about the complete study for vector in ahead, but here I give you notion about how vector is added, giving different kind of direction. Now in the fifth case, you can see here 4 Newton force is acted in east direction and 3 Newton is southward direction. So what will happen in this case? They will move by the impact of 5 Newton but in the direction of southeast. So this is the strange phenomena, but this is reality. So we are here to study these kind of things. So the human or mathematician introduce vector quantities. So you can see here, you can say the impact of the ball by your common sense in this case, because the direction is same, impact is more, and the impact is added simply by algebra. 4 plus 3 is 7 Newton. Now here you can also by common sense can say this impact is some impact is subtracted from some because the direction is different. So here 1 Newton, or here you can also say by common sense. But now here and here you cannot say by common sense. So why we study science? Why we study mathematics? Because we can generalize the phenomena. We can express something as a whole, not for a particular case that you can say by common sense, but you will become doubtful in this case. Maybe may your common sense be wrong in this case or in this case. Have you got my point? So science and mathematics do the same thing, that they create some tools or some mathematical tools by which we express every possible cases, not particular only, but every possible cases. So we will study about how in any direction when two vectors are combined, then how we add two vectors. We will study it in this lecture. Before this, now I'm giving you some example so you can familiar with the vectors quantities. Now let us see here, if a ball is kicked in that direction by 5 Newton and another player at the same time kick the ball by the same force. Here keeping in the mind that player is a physical body, not living, because living body has some consciousness or mind, they can lose their impact. So here we only consider the physical body, not a living body, as I have already said in the previous lecture. So what will happen in this case? I give you some option that it will move in first player direction. Second, it doesn't move with respect to ground. Or third, it will move towards second player. What would be your answer? It will move in towards the first player or second player, or it doesn't move at all? By your common sense you can say yes, you are right. You can say that it will not move with respect to ground, and second option is correct. How you take the combined effect of these forces, these two players? So here I add two vectors like it. I take this direction as positive. As I already said, direction can be written as positive or negative, and this direction as negative. So first player give a force of plus 5 Newton. and the second player give a force of -5 Newton. Have you got my point? Now the combined effect of two forces at the same time on the ball becomes the plus of the two forces. If you subtract it, you never got your real answer, practical answer. If you divide it, you never got a real answer. If you multiply it, you never got it. So the possibility that you got the real answer, it must be addition. So we say that for the combined effect of two vectors or more than two vectors, we add the vector, keeping its direction also. Have you got my point? So here you can see this becomes 0 Newton. That means rest with respect to ground. Or you can take any reference. Have you got my point? So how we add two vectors keeping the direction also. Here plus is the direction, here minus the direction. And the combined effect is called addition. Now I give you another example. You can see here. A boy, first boy, give a kick by 2 Newton on the ball, and the second boy give a kick on the ball by 3 Newton, and a third boy in the opposite direction give a kick by 7 Newton. What will happen in this case? Perhaps you have solved the question. So answer must be here. We can add these three vectors because we know that the combined effect is on nothing but the addition of these quantities. So, but keep in mind that we have to include direction also because it is not a scalar. Direction will be differ. We have already I have shown you that the direction differ. The same 3 Newton and 4 Newton gives the different value. So keeping in mind the direction must be taken while considering the combining effect of the vectors. So here if I take this direction as positive and if I take this direction as negative, then we can say that the combined effect must be plus 3 plus 2 plus -7. Have you got my point? It is easy. So if you calculate this, you got -2 Newton. Here minus indicates this direction. I have considered the westward direction is negative, so it means the ball will move by 2 Newton force westward. Have you got my point? This is the case of addition of vectors, but this is simple case. Okay, now another problem I will give you, and then you can understand the simple cases how we add two vectors and what is the meaning of addition of two vectors. I have already told you that the addition of vectors means the combined effect of those vectors on the object at the same time. So adding means here adding means combined effect of all the vectors acting on an object simultaneously.